Hello everyone, this is Kitsu Ronin aka Sir Rob. I have another Arena Assault video that I recorded, and again this commentary was done after the Arena Assault run. So this first team has a bunch of ranged units. Thankfully there's no dancers. The duo Ephraim is a little tricky to deal with because my green unit is in armor and duo Ephraim does have effectiveness against armors. Thankfully the Brave Micaiah was easy to bait out. Legendary Ike does very well against her. This next turn, ideally I would have Winter Felix bait and kill the Tharja. Unfortunately I can't do that safely because that duo Ephraim is just in a bad position. So I make an aggressive play here. I have my Flame Emperor attack the Tharja. Since he does have Bolt Fighter and a Slaying Axe, he's actually able to get Gale Force off against her. Winter Felix is going to be able to take her out, and then I will have Flame Emperor sort of body block Alm. It's kind of a risky move because I don't know whether Flame Emperor will survive, and I normally don't calculate stuff. I know some people do, but I don't. Most of the time. And this duo Ephraim is a little tricky because Legendary Julia is not able to kill him in one round because he is on that defense tile. Thankfully my Legendary Ike is able to do enough damage to follow her up. And thankfully this Ephraim has Heavy Blade 4 and not Distant Counter, so Julia is able to attack him safely. Unfortunately this Legendary Alm has a null follow-up, and that's why Flame Emperor cannot kill him. And I don't have Flame Emperor attack him here because I don't want Alm charging his special, because he'll definitely kill Flame Emperor at that point. So thankfully Flame Emperor survives, and he just barely survives. Unfortunately, none of my other units are in range to attack him.
Really?
But Flame Emperor, with his Bolt Fighter, is able to attack twice with Gale Force. And so I back out, I adjust my preset team's skill sets. I do notice that Saber is not blessed correctly. I always try to make sure everyone's blessed correctly the day before, but I just missed it this time. So my Arena Assault run was pretty easy overall. I didn't have too much difficulty in the Coliseum this week, or in Aether Raids today either. But the one singular exception is Allegiance Battles, which was extremely frustrating because it was a bad map and it had a lot of hard units to fight since it was 3 houses. I did eventually get it done though. So this next match has Legendary Claude, who is probably the biggest threat here. I bring this team because I have Halloween Rolf and Lalina, who should theoretically be good against this Brave Edelgard. So I just try to get that Legendary Claude a little closer to me so I can take him out easily with Halloween Rolf. Unfortunately the trenches prevent Rolf from attacking here. And this Brave Edelgard is pretty annoying. I didn't checking skills here, I don't think. And that's going to sort of be somewhat my undoing because Brave Edelgard has Far Save, and I don't know that yet. So I attack. This Legendary Ike attacks into my Shigure, and Shigure gets the kill. I notice here that this Brave Edelgard does have Far Save, and so unfortunately Halloween Rolf isn't able to actually attack Claude. So I just have to retreat a bit and hope that the enemy gets into a more a convenient position.
Live on. All right.
But since Brave Edelgard can move pretty much wherever she wants, they're still in a position here where Legendary Cloud is being protected by Brave Edelgard, and I can't really retreat any further than this. So I do. I know that Lilina can attack Brave Edelgard from here because of Farseid. Unfortunately, even with Axebreaker, she's not able to kill her. So I do have to use the special blade here so that she's able to kill Brave Edelgard. So I attack her in this position so that Rolf can attack Claude in that position. And then I have Titania tank this Halloween Tiki. And she does a great job because of her innate triangle adept. People say that Titania is not good, but she's actually fantastic for a mode like Arena Assault, where it's sort of all about bringing counter picks. And this team is tricky because it does have a Dancer, and it also has this legendary Lilina, who I don't have a good grasp on what counters her the best. Just because her attack stat is so high and she gets her pre-charged special. Eventually I decide to bring my Armor Emblem team. It's mostly Armor Emblem because I do have Spring Bruno there. My Valentine's Elwood has Rider's Bane, and he has that because I use him in Ether raids, and since a lot of enemy teams are focusing on starting on turn 1, Rider's Bane is a pretty decent counter to that because those turn 1 teams rely on cavalry units to close the gap between them and you. And I also chose this team because I thought Black Knight had Panic Ploy, and he does have the skill, he just doesn't have it equipped because I have a stat boosting skill instead. And so just to ensure that Valentine's Elwood doesn't die here, I do use the Panic Charm, because I know that Lilina is going to get buffed. And of course it takes me a bit of time to think to do that because I don't want to use so many items so early in the run.
Something you want?
So my Spring Bruno,
Just so.
I have him support Valentine's Elwood because I use both of them in Ether raids. Spring Bruno isn't really the greatest support unit, only because he doesn't have a perf,
Springtime.
so he doesn't have any additional support abilities other than what all healers have. But Spring Bruno is a ranged unit, and otherwise I would not have any ranged units on that specific team that uses Elwood.
Yes? Understood.
And so I have Elwood attempt to tank Plumeria here. I was a little worried because I thought that maybe Plumeria wouldn't be able to do enough damage, but she did. Legendary Edelgard is not difficult to deal with because I do have Black Knight. Black Knight has Kestrel Stance, and he has Vengeful Fighter. He's specifically an enemy phase unit, and he does excellently against Edelgard here. Duma is a little tricky. I don't really have any units here that are specifically designed to fight him. Thankfully, I have the defense tile to take advantage of, and this Duma does not have.
Understood. Yes?
I'm all fired up. Where to?
Something
I
you
could
want?
theoretically attack him here, but I didn't want to take that risk,
Find your
so I
courage.
just used the defense tile. So, Hero Rises, the banner,
Springtime.
came out yesterday. I decided not to pull on that. The unit I wanted the most, Ninja Lin, she actually won, and so we all got her for free. And so I also have Legendary Dimitri at plus 10 already, so there was really no reason for me to pull on that banner. What I'm saving my orbs on is the upcoming Mythic Hero banner, because I have a feeling that we are going to get that team bonus light mythic. It's going to be really, really important, because otherwise you're going to be running into 5 versus 7 matches on light season, and that's not something that I really want to deal with, especially since I struggle so much against enemy teams in Aether raids as it is. So this team, surprisingly, Shanna is a very annoying unit here, and I should have paid more attention to that, because Olwen relies on getting blue buffs, but since this Shanna has Sudden Panic, basically she negates all of, or she reverses all of Olwen's buffs. And so my units don't really do that much damage here, especially against this Shinon, who unfortunately got separated from the rest of the group, and Shinon has a lot of solo skills, so you really don't want him to be in this position. Thankfully, I realized that I could just undo Sudden Panic by refreshing Olwen. And Olwen's not getting her full buffs here, but she does just barely do enough damage to kill Shinon. And a lot of that is thanks to being supported with Mathilda.
I understand.
So the rest of the units, they aren't too difficult to deal with, just because Shanna is a Gen 1 unit, Seelak's a Grail unit, Legendary Ike's also a pretty outdated unit. I do retreat a little bit just because I don't know how Mathilda is going to do against this Legendary Ike.
I understand.
Because she's intended for support, not really so much combat. This whole team, it's sort of a hit and run strategy because of Veronica.
Undoubtedly.
But this map doesn't really lend itself well to that strategy, just because of the trench tiles and the water tiles.
I understand.
I do have Mathilda try to tank Ike here. She actually ends up doing pretty well. She gets the kill, and then Seelak is pretty easy to deal with after that. Since, wow, Veronica's not able to get the kill there, but that's okay.
Undoubtedly.
When there's one unit left, things get pretty easy. And this team, it only has one ranged unit, and there's no dancers, so Young Marth is a little tricky. I end up bringing a team that's sort of centered around Pain the weapon. And I do that just because there's not really anything crazy going on here in terms of movement, and there's no Null Sea Disrupt either, so it's pretty safe to use a strategy like this. That's not always going to be the case. But Pain really does trivialize a lot of these matches when there's an opportunity to use it. And so my Ike has Deflect Magic, so he really has no issue at all dealing with this Legendary Julia.
Of course.
And now it's all melee units, so there's no real reason why I can't just spam Pain.
It will be done.
It's all for you.
I think
Understood.
the only thing I really have to think about here is positioning,
Shall we?
just because I don't want to get into a position where I get cornered.
Yes. Of course.
And again, I have Ike supporting Naga here, because I use both of them in Ether raids. I use Ike in Astra Season. I used to use Libra. Unfortunately, even though Libra's fully merged, he doesn't really get the job done. Just because so many enemy units are really powerful nowadays, even unmerged.
It will be done.
So I just pretty much just hit and run.
It's all for you.
Lucius is able to get Pain in pretty safely here.
Understood. Yes. Orders.
I just need to make sure that I don't make any dumb mistakes,
Of course.
because that happens sometimes. And so with Allegiance battles today, I did struggle quite a bit. I actually used up all of my colorless and green units on my friends list, except there was one person that I saw. They sent a friend request today, and I accepted it, and I actually won the Allegiance battle with that unit. I was pretty down to the wire, and I'm really thankful that person sent the friend request when they did. This is another pretty simple team. I'm surprised to see Soth here, because his bonus week
Stay close.
has been done for quite a while now.
What's next?
I do think this is sort of a free team, just because both of those Tikis have Wari Fighter.
What now?
Over here?
The team that I'm using here probably isn't the best team to use against this enemy team. Just because while Brave Lucina does have Dragon Effectiveness,
Your order.
she doesn't really have
Let us go.
great res, and she is an outdated unit in terms of combat.
I won't lose.
Thankfully,
Over here?
it doesn't end up being much of an issue because
The enemy.
the enemy team,
Understood.
it's sort of designed for you to be able to beat it easily.
Stay close.
So what I end up doing is just
Yes.
trying to attack one of the Tikis with
Yeah.
Brave Lucina,
The enemy.
and then I retreat and
won't lose.
heal up using Raisin's innate perf. And Lucina thankfully is able to take one hit,
Next.
What now?
and then I take this Tiki out.
Over here?
Stay close.
But she does need to heal up because she's not going to be able to kill this other Tiki
go.
without having more HP.
Understood.
Yes.
And again, this is another team that I,
The enemy.
well,
Your order.
some of the units I use in Ether raids, specifically Brave Lyn and Regin. I used all of these units at one point, but Brave Lucina doesn't really...
Let us go.
she's a great unit for Ether raids, but she doesn't really have much compatibility with my team setups. And same with Raisin, I try to take advantage of tactic skills. And because I use Altina and Naga, if I used Raisin as well, that would prevent both of them from receiving tactics buffs. But Lyn, she continues to be useful as a hit and run unit. Specifically because she does have Zakei's Blessing, which prevents swords, lances, and axes from counterattacking. And this other enemy team, I again resort to the Pain strategy, because again there's no Dancer, there's only one ranged unit. And I do have another Pain team to use in this season combination. I have Lachesis, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I gave her Pain, so I have many teams that can use that strategy.
For peace. What do you need?
And so
For the sky and earth.
I end up having a little bit of trouble against this team just because this Alm moves to the left while everyone else moves down. Unfortunately, even though my Morgan has Axe Breaker, this Alm has null follow-up, and so he's not going to be able to double.
For peace.
And so I do get cornered, and I realize that I'm getting cornered right now. So I do end up using a Dancer's Veil here, just so I can take out this Lucina safely. Because if I just attacked her with Wrath here, then Legendary Alm would come and kill Wrath pretty much effortlessly.
For the sky and earth.
So I use the Dancer's Veil. It affects Nils, of course. Since Nils is a dancer, he's able to dance Wrath, and everyone's able to get to safety.
Sky and earth.
Shall we?
What's the plan?
And the match gets a lot easier from here. I'm able to attack this Alm safely with Emmeryn.
Okay.
I'm able to dance Emmeryn and retreat. And after Emmeryn uses Pain, then Morgan's able to get the kill.
What's the plan?
I like Morgan. I do hope he gets refined soon, because
Shall we?
it would have been nice if he would have been able to kill that Legendary Alm or Valentine's Alm early on.
Okay.
Because I know that Dancer's Veils are a pretty precious resource. I don't want to use too much of them.
Okay.
So I end up taking out this Legendary Alm, and I tank Legendary Ike with Nils. Again, Legendary Ike is a pretty outdated unit, so Nils is able to tank it pretty easily.
I can do that.
What's the plan?
And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
The lead team that I used, since it's no longer going to be Earth season, I'm going to be switching out my lead team. My other lead team will score the same, because again, I invest a lot in the arena. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it as always, and I'll see you around.